I really did not want to make this video, but it's gotten to the point that I had to address a few things because given how this individual that I will discuss shortly has been running his mouth, and from what I've seen, I have an obligation to address this and call out a few things that need to be called out. Before I begin, I want to make a disclaimer here that there will be mentions of narcissist claims, endorsing abuse allegations, and suicide baiting in this video. If these certain topics make you uncomfortable, I advise you to watch with discretion, and with that being said, you've been warned. Let us begin. This is CTC Productions, or as he now goes by as Peter Stone, the Conductor. I encountered this individual when he made a comment in my stream of the Eviction community needs to get a live podcast. Mind you, this stream was made almost a decade ago, but he commented on my stream on December 4th of 2023. I did talk about this in both the streams as seen here, and the links of said streams can be found in the description if you wish to watch both of them. But in the second stream when Cosmic asked the question of if CTC Productions thought I was encouraging abuse and harassment, he said yes.
I asked where Ben has incited harassment and bullying, and as far as I can tell from what you have just said, which was right at the beginning, it was from his video title. Is that what the answer was?
Yes, the video title.
As many of my colleagues and acquaintances and friends know of my content, I do not endorse nor do I encourage any form of harassment. Even if I have a disdain for a toxic community that is proven to be toxic, I do not wish any harm or any individual of said community. I made this clear multiple times in the majority of my content, but according to this moron, I endorse it. What a stupid logic, don't you think? And soon afterwards, he ran his mouth on Twitter in 2023. For those who want to see it, it is available on my Twitter page for more context. Afterwards, things have been quiet, but as you all know, I commented about my eviction situation during November of last year, and lo and behold, this moron decides to run his mouth, and disregarding that the post is about myself explaining my situation and that I want to spend the holidays with my family, he uses it as an opportunity to give a toxic community a second chance. Let me educate you all on this. That is unacceptable behavior. You do not use anyone's situation as means of personal agenda. That is scummy behavior, and I justifiably responded so, and I was not holding back because I made it clear what he was doing is unacceptable. And boy, was he pissed about it and completely ignored everything I have said in my response. I mean, this clown has cotton candy stuck in his ears and caramel apples in his eyes because he's not paying attention to anything that I or any one of my associates or even people in general have been saying towards him. He ran his mouth again on Twitter in January of this year as well as the last month of February. Again, all the screenshots and responses of him are available on my Twitter posts. This shows what kind of person he is and completely assumes the worst of people. What do I mean by this, class? Well, for starters, he accuses me of being a heartless narcissist, which a lot of my associates and those who follow me know that is the most ridiculous thing to say about me. I will openly admit, I am a grouchy asshole. I'm a prick at times, and I can be a bit of an antisocial recluse. My associates will agree with this. I am an asshole, antisocial prick, but a narcissist is not one of them. If I'm so heartless that you accuse me of being CTC, then why the hell am I making public awareness videos on predators that have been preying on children and have been exposed to doing so, and trying to make sure that children are safe online? I could simply answer that for you, class. He thinks Toucan Sam is mean because Toucan Sam does not encourage or tolerate toxic behavior in a community that has been proven over and over again to be toxic that this motherfucker is a part of. Sorry to break it to you, Sonny Jim, that's not how it works. People are allowed to address toxic individuals that need to be addressed. You cannot dictate who they can or cannot call out. That is not how reality works. And by the way, class, do you remember my first stream about him as mentioned earlier? Well, he uses autism as an excuse and tried to justify his stupidity online. Let me educate you all real quick on this, real fast. Having autism, ADHD, Asperger's, epilepsy, or any form of disability does not excuse you or try to justify your stupidity or you being negligent, degenerate, or idiotic online. There is no excuses for that. I'm on the spectrum, as you all know, and I do not use autism as a shield for my stupidity. If I do anything stupid, I will hold myself accountable. This clown thought that using this excuse can make people brush his stupidity to the side, which unfortunately did not work too well on his end. Not to mention, class, CTC decided to have a go at Spanish Giovanni, and my god, he made himself look like even more of a fool. If you guys want to see that interaction, it's on Twitter. So, again, Griffin, he did deactivate his account back at last month of February, and we assumed that that was the end of it. Nope. No less than a few days ago, he posted this community tab on his channel. Let's have a read, shall we, class?
Admitting my wrongdoings and exposing my abusers. I have been through all kinds of trauma and mental anxiety, but no one ever really conflicted with this one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, over the last few months, I've mainly been harassed and abused by a bunch of jerks who think that spoofs are a disgrace and a disease. And as much as I try to reason with them about nothing, talking extremist and heartbreaking crap about them, they unfortunately won't listen. Because they are too selfish, corrupt, and overly incompetent to even mess with me. And because of that, it most cost me my own life and reputation as a human being. And for that, I'm truly sorry. I'm so sorry for getting extremely upset and butthurt just because they simply just don't understand or get into the stuff me and the others do for a hobby. And I know that not all of you will agree with me. I just hope sometime you can put this insanity behind us both and just move on in this life. But until then, that's not entirely indifferent. So with that being said, I'm gonna be taking a little break to cool down and focus on more important things like college, art, and other things I want to do in life. However, I'll be back sometime next month to work on more important things on this channel as well. So I hope you understand. Plus, this might be the last time I talk about the Mr. Amazing Dude, Dragon Class 757, Zan the Gamer 21, Jedi Griffin Pictures, and Buzzy Trombone 4353. Because as much as I know what I'm doing was right, I do feel like I was also in the wrong for being insane and toxic bullcrap among me and others. So like I said, I just really hope things will get better on both sides, but for now, I'm gonna take a break and relax for a while. I hope you all understand, and I'll see you next month. Peter Stone, formerly CTC Productions.
Okay, there's a lot that I'm going to address in this community tab alone, but that's not what's interesting, class. In the comments of this post is the reason why I decided to make a video about this, because this individual has made misinformation and allegations against me without any proof. For example, accusing me of apparently being a ringleader and knowing these individuals that he has mentioned on both the community tab as well as the comments between him and Avery. Let me make this abundantly clear. I do not know any of these individuals that CTC is on about, that I apparently know these people he mentioned. I've never interacted with these people. I've never been associated with them. I'm not this supposed ringleader that this fool accuses me of doing, nor have I made a complete campaign to harass people, which again, I made it clear I do not endorse, nor do I encourage such behavior. CTC, you have this complete delusion that everybody is against you and you decide to go offline no less than a month later, come back. If anyone has an obsession, it's clearly you, because you clearly are showing an obsession and a narcissist behavior. And by the way, let me educate you what a definition of a narcissist is. And this right here shows that you are completely showing the behaviors throughout 2 of my streams, all over Twitter, as well as this community tab post. And it's funny that you're accusing me of harassment, and here you are in this community tab post. It looks like you are the harasser here at Sunny Jim. And by the way, I find it pretty disgusting that you're suicide baiting in this community tab post and make it seem like that if I and these people that you have mentioned will be responsible if you ever committed toaster bath. Who the hell do you think you are to use a serious subject as suicide as an attempt to make people feel sorry for you and to back off? That is completely disgusting. You do not know what people with genuine suicidal thoughts go through, myself included, and I do not wish that on anybody. On that note, I have this to say. If any of my followers or anyone who's watching this video, if you have any suicidal thoughts or have any intentions of self-harm, I encourage you to contact the suicide hotline that I will provide in the description of this video. I urge you all to talk to someone and know that it is okay to seek help and know that you are not alone. But you, CTC, you have the audacity to use something serious as suicide as a means to gain a pity party. That is disturbing and disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourself. However, if you really do have suicidal thoughts, I'm urging anyone who knows CTC's real name and his address, etc. I'm urging you all to contact his family, because if he's seriously, genuinely having these kind of thoughts, he shouldn't be online. He should be admitted to a suicide watch so that way he'll get the proper treatment that he needs. The fact that you make exceptions over a stream that was nearly a decade old, coming into my streams in the comments trying to justify your behavior with autism, then on the second stream you make asinine claims with no evidence to back up whatsoever, you run your mouth on Twitter, and then saying all this stupid shit CTC shows that you have a problem, and that I think that you should not be on the internet, period. And what's worse, you place misinformation about me, which is clearly proven not true. If anything, you're doing the exact same thing that you're accusing me or anyone that you have mentioned of doing. That makes you look foolish, and by the way, I have a question for you. What the actual fuck is this? Why the hell would you make this comment that you pretend to be okay with pedophiles? And then saying that it was a joke? Let me educate you real fucking fast, Sonny Jim. You can make joke on a lot of things, but when it comes to serious shit as pedophilia, that is something you do not ever joke about, because you're talking to someone that has dealt with several individuals that have been exposed to pedophilia. That is a very serious situation, and that is a fucking line that you do not fucking cross. These kinds of people that I've exposed are completely unforgiving bastards that deserve to rot in prison. You do realize that this comment makes you look bad, and it raises very questionable red flags and what your mindset is and who you enable and who you're okay with. Like, I hope you have a fucking good explanation for this, mate, because this is not looking good on you. And before you start running your mouth in the comment section saying that Toucan Sam is harassing me or that I'm bullying you, no, that is not what I'm doing. What I'm doing is calling you out on your misinformation and your unhinged behavior online. I have stated this to you on Twitter, but clearly you weren't paying attention. I never mentioned you all aside from Twitter at February. I made that clear to my associates, but after all this is getting to the point that you continue to mention me, you continue to place misinformation about me, all because Toucan Sam is being mean to a community that you are a part of. Well, let me rephrase, I used to be a part of. And Toucan Sam grilled your ass and put you in your fucking place multiple times. And to think that was not bad enough, 16 days ago you accused Huey Turnmore with no evidence, and when he answered and put you in your place as seen here, you have a serious problem, CTC. I'm telling you, you need to get off the internet and talk to a therapist, touch grass, and get an actual life. Now, what I mean by getting an actual life, because you clearly think that is harassing you, what I mean by getting a life means that you should go outside, go to college that you say that you're going to in the community tab, get a job, be productive, interact with real people, not random strangers on a computer. I generally want you to be productive and not be glued on a computer 24/7. And the fact that you're trying to use autism as a shield for your unacceptable behavior is disgusting. As Avery and even the Cinnamon Roll Flutter Rio has mentioned to you in these comments here, that I'm on the spectrum too, yet I actually have a life, I actually touch grass, I have a job, and having to pay hefty bills because it's called adulting. And given how you admitted that you were 19 at the time of the second stream, which by my estimation, you're in your 20s. You can have a job and you can be productive with your life and probably help your parents that you're still living with. It's called adulting, son. Use it. But the issue is, CTC doesn't seem to grasp the concept. When people tell him what he's doing is not okay, he ignores what people tells them, he takes things out of context, and what's worse, he accuses people with no evidence when asked to prove his claims. No surprise, he doesn't do so, and making assumptions saying this kind of comment shows this, it's not helping him whatsoever. It's making him look foolish and giving people ammunition against him. I want to clarify, I do not wish harm, nor do I wish any ill intentions with CTC. What I'm trying to do in this video is to clarify the misinformation that he has said towards me, and I felt obligated to address this because he has to understand that people are entitled to speak about a toxic community that needs to be talked about, and he shouldn't make false information about an individual just because they didn't agree with their opinions or because their opinions did not change over the past decade. The reason why I'm saying this is because, again, I have had experiences with the affected community, CTC, and I'm telling you from my personal experience that the community is completely toxic. The individuals in said community is toxic. I know what I'm talking about, and I'm not talking out of the fucking blue. I had experiences, and I'm telling you that it is toxic, and the fact that you're running your mouth making these claims, saying all this stupid shit on the internet is not helping your case, CTC. You shouldn't act foolish or say questionable things online. It makes you look bad, and it just proves mine and many others' points that you have mentioned of what they say about you. Like, you're accusing them of doing this, but yet you're doing the exact same thing. Please reflect and grow to be better, CTC. This is the only advice I am giving you, and if you refuse to take it, then I've said what I need to say. Hopefully class CTC will reflect on his behavior, and I do generally think he needs to focus on his education that he said he's attending. He needs to seek a therapist, get a job, and touch grass, and live an actual life outside the internet. I'm hoping that this is the last time I will ever have to address about this individual, but I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt. My advice to all my audience, please do not be like CTC Productions or Peter Stone, the Conductor, because this kind of behavior is unacceptable, it is disgusting, it is degenerate, and is purely negligent on his part. And I do think he needs to seek help.
And by the way, I find it completely appalling that you would say this shit to an individual as well. Yes, class, you're reading this correctly. He basically told this individual that he will commit the R word and murder this person afterwards. This is completely unacceptable behavior, and I seriously think he needs to seek therapy, and I do think more importantly he needs to seek Christ, because what he is doing and the way he's acting is not acceptable. And again, do not be like CTC or Peter Stone, the Conductor class, because people like him are negligent, careless, degenerate, and more importantly, they're just not worth it. With that being said, class, I am Ben Mazza. May the force be with you all, and take care.